Hey guys, welcome back to the Sullivan family. So this is a little bit of an update. If you've seen any of my blogs on Facebook or Instagram, you'll know that I tested positive for COVID this morning, again for the second time. So we all had COVID back in November. Well, everybody bar Ben, because obviously he was away, and Toby, who just didn't seem to catch it. And it's a little bit inevitable, really, because it's literally everywhere up here at the moment. You can't, every class in the school has got it. Everybody seems to have it at the moment. I think in Eva's class, there's like literally 5 children left. So anyway, yesterday I had a little bit of a tickle in my throat, but I felt absolutely fine. I did a test anyway, just because we're kind of still regularly testing here in Scotland. And obviously the children are testing, high school ones especially. So I did a test, it was negative. I felt fine, carried on with the day. And then last night, probably about 10 o'clock last night, I started to feel really rough. And by the time I went to bed, about 11, I was aches and chills and hot and cold, and I went to bed with a jumper on. Poor Ben, he was boiling, because Ben likes it to be cold in the bedroom and I like it to be warm. So we already have this kind of thing where the radiator is on but the window's open, and he sleeps where the window is open, so he's got the breeze, and I sleep where the radiator is, so I get warm. So anyway, I was freezing, and then I woke up and I was boiling, so I had to take my jumper off again, but I was tossing and turning all night long. Just felt sick, and see, that's something I didn't have the last time I had COVID. I didn't feel sick. This time I've barely eaten all day because I just feel really, really sick. So anyway, yeah, I got up this morning and I had a shower and everything, but I just felt absolutely dreadful. I could barely even stand up. So Ben went into work and then he came home to help me. I kept, see, the rules up here are that, you know, if you're under 18, you can still go to school and everything else, as long as you're daily, if you're in a house with somebody who's got COVID, as long as you're daily testing. So I did test everybody this morning before school. I got everybody up and got them all tested, and the only other person that was positive was Agnes. And she's been a little bit, she hasn't had a temperature or anything the last couple of days. She had a little bit of a cough, but I didn't think much of it, to be honest, because I tested her, because she had a bit of a cough. I tested her on Monday, I think, and it was negative, so I didn't think anything of it. And she didn't have a temp, she didn't have anything else, there wasn't anything else wrong with her. But when we tested her this morning, she was positive. So everybody else was negative. So the older ones went off to school because they're obviously still allowed to go to school if they're negative. I kept the younger ones at home because I wasn't sure if they have the same rules at the primary as the secondary. So I thought I'll just keep them at home today just in case. And obviously because we are in Scotland, we still have to have PCR tests if we have symptoms. It's a bit of a minefield trying to find out if you don't, I think the guidelines state if you don't have any symptoms but you have a positive lateral flow, you don't need a PCR. But if you have symptoms, even with a positive lateral flow, you still have to go for a PCR. I just don't understand. But anyway, so I took, me and Agnes, I booked us in, but by the time I booked us both in, Erin had started feeling unwell and had a temperature, and she was fine this morning. I did her test, she was negative, so she started coughing and has been up and down all day, so I booked her in for a PCR test as well. So this afternoon, me, Erin and Agnes went over to Elgin to get PCR tests, so we should get the results from them tomorrow. So yeah, now we're just testing everybody every day, and I don't know what will happen. I don't know where it's which end it's come from, to be honest. It just seems the tiny ones are me at the moment. So I don't know. The older ones have been testing quite regularly, and they haven't had any symptoms, and they haven't sorry, that was just Isabel coming, sticking her head around the door. So as I was saying, yeah, the older ones have been testing sort of twice a week. We've been testing the younger ones once a week or twice a week if we can. Don't always remember. And so far, nobody's had any symptoms. So I don't really know where it's come from. I mean, you know, they all have social lives and go off out and do things, and I don't. I don't go anywhere or do anything. So why I've caught it again, I don't know, unless I've got it from the younger ones who've caught it from, I don't even know where, because they don't go anywhere either. But anyway, so yeah, it's not come at the best times, to be honest. Ben went into work this morning, but I couldn't manage really on my own today because I felt really, really rough. So obviously I can't take very much. Paracetamol is pretty much all I can take, so I felt really, really rough. So I needed him to just kind of give me a hand today. So it's kind of, it's coming at a really rubbish time. This was one of the things that I was dreading towards the end of pregnancy, was getting COVID again, because obviously I'm nearly 37 weeks, so technically baby could come at any time, and obviously now I have COVID. It kind of changes everything again. I've just got everything sorted. Just literally from my last update on Monday, spoke to the consultant, was feeling really positive about probably being able to go to Dr. Gray's and have this baby and everything else. And now everything's kind of turned on its head, because probably we'll have to go to, if it happens in the next sort of 10 days or possibly even after, I'll probably have to go to 𝙵𝚁𝙵𝙵, because just in case there's any, you know, because they're geared up for people with COVID who are having babies. They have kind of a special area. Also, just in case the baby is in any distress because of me having COVID. So yeah, it's kind of, it's changed things. I think today I don't feel well enough to kind of deal with that kind of, how I feel about that right now. But I'm sure in a few days it will kind of hit me. But I also now have to have, so after having the twins and Agnes and Joseph, I had to have Heparin injections, the blood thinners, to stop from any clots, getting any clots, mainly because of my age, and obviously I'm more prone to bleeding because of having a lot of children. So I think when I had the twins, it was like a 5-day dose or something. It's just 5 or 7 days worth of injections, one a day, which I can't do myself, so I have to get Ben to do it. And they're really horrible, because it's not the injection that hurts, it's the stuff. It's really stingy. It's one of those injections that really stings, and I hate them. So when I spoke to my midwife this morning, she said that I have to have injections now because of having COVID, and the risk of blood clots with COVID, and obviously the risk of being heavily pregnant with COVID and blood clots. So I spoke to the nurse as well earlier when she phoned, and she says I now have to take 2 injections a day, so one in the morning, one in the evening, until the baby's born, and then possibly for the sort of 10-day dose after it's born as well. So basically for the next month probably I've got to have 2 injections a day, and I'm gonna have to train the kids how to do it, because I hate it. I just can't do it myself. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Ben's just gone out to the pharmacy to get me them now. They didn't have them here in Lossie, so he's just gone over to 𝙵𝚁𝙴𝚂𝙷 to see if he can pick up the prescription from there. Sorry, my battery's running low. So yeah, that's going to be fun. So it's just thrown a complete spanner in the works, really. Obviously, there's the worry of just being ill at this kind of stage of pregnancy. There's worry of going into labour early. There's worry of all of it. So it's just rubbish. It's really rubbish. It's the one thing that I didn't want to happen. And, you know, I guess it was inevitable, really. You just can't, what do? You know, you can't keep people off school inevitably because there's COVID in the school, because there's COVID everywhere up here at the moment. You know, you can't, we've kind of put our lives on hold for the last 2 years, and you can't keep, I mean, when everybody in Eva's class was coming down with it, I did think maybe I should keep her off school, but it's not even, I haven't even got it from her, because we've been testing them, especially Eva, because it's been in her class. We've been testing her sort of every day, because she was kind of one of the ones that was most likely to get it, and she's been negative. So it's just, you just can't, you know, kind of put everything on hold for 2 years now, and not been living as normal. And it's just, I think everyone's just sick of it now. And I know that some people don't necessarily get ill with COVID. I kind of wish I was one of those people, because I feel really rough today. The only saving grace, I think, is quite a lot of people. Last time we had COVID, it started off not too bad, and then it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And we were ill for like 7-8 days. And obviously Olivia's still struggling with some of the after effects of COVID now. Even like 4 months on, she still has chest problems that have interfered with her asthma now. So, you know, if she gets it, she's still kind of struggling to get back to dance and to get her fitness levels back up. It's not even her fitness levels, it's just getting her breathing. She just can't breathe, you know. It's really frustrating for her, and but you can't kind of bubble wrap everybody. But yeah, it's come at a really, really rubbish time. I keep losing my train of thought. My brain is not working properly. But what I was trying to say before was that a few people have contacted me and said that having this strain of COVID, second time round, they've only been poorly for a few days and then felt much better. So I'm kind of hoping that that's what happens, because especially if the kids get it and they're poorly, because at the moment I just can't do anything today. I just keep sitting down all the time because I just feel dizzy and sick, and my legs don't want to work properly, and achy and cold and hot and everything else. So, you know, they're going to need me to look after them if they're not well as well. So I'm hoping that feeling really rough only lasts for a short time, and then I'm hoping that I'll get, you know, the negative on day 6 or 7, because I'm supposed to have the hairdressers next week as well, and I don't want to have to cancel it again. That happened last time too. Well, he had COVID. It's just I know it's just one of those things, but sometimes you just feel like all of those things pile up, and sometimes you just feel that all the other things that are going on as well at the moment, and you just think, oh, it's always seemed to happen. Do you know what I mean? But you know, you can't feel sorry for yourself. You've kind of just got to pick yourself up and take it as it is and get on with it, because that's what we do, you know, as a family. That's what we do. We just get on with it and make the most of situations and just get through them the best we can. But anyway, like I said, it's just a quick update, because a lot of you will have seen that we have COVID, or I have COVID. Ben's actually everybody else is negative, but they'll probably all get it, or some of them will get it as well. So yeah, just an update to let you know how things are, and fingers crossed now that this baby doesn't arrive in the next 10 days and that it decides to stay in for a little bit. Could really do with not being ill and having a baby. So yeah, wish us luck, I guess. Yeah, there's not much else I can say. So I can't really say I hope you enjoyed this video, because it's a bit of a rubbishy one, really, isn't it? But anyway, drop us a like, drop us a comment, subscribe if you're not, and we will hopefully catch up in a better video in a few days' time. Bye guys.